Hi, so my name is Lily and today I'm going to show you how I apply my Colorstreet nails. I am a mom. I have a almost 3-year-old and a 2-month-old son, and so I don't really have that much time to take for my nails. And with COVID, since my kids aren't vaccinated, I can't go to a salon. So if you go to the salon for socializing, that's awesome. But if you like to have your nails done and you just don't have time to go somewhere, or you want something that's more cost effective, I highly recommend Colorstreet. So this is Gaelic Greenery, and you can see it's a glitter. So if you're a newbie with Colorstreet, I recommend that you start with a glitter because they're just easier to apply. You have 2 sets in here, and so you only need 1 per manicure if you do it the way that I'm going to do it. I was going to fast forward through the application process once I did 1 or 2 nails for you guys, but I decided to just keep it the entire length of the time it took me, which is 15 minutes, and that's including opening up and trying to get the excess strips inside, which for some reason is really finicky. But um, in order to save your extra strips, there's two there's a few ways. First of all, if you have long nails, it's 1 strip per nail. But if you don't have long nails like me, you can actually use 1 strip for 2 nails. So you take the strips, you see which one works for your nail, and then you rip it off. You take the top part off, which is a clear thing of plastic, and then you pull that little tab off. And then what I do is I take a Swiss Army knife and I cut it in half. And that way you've already measured for both of your nails, and so it'll fit both. And yeah, you peel off the back side then, and this is real nail polish, so it does smell like nail polish, but it's not as strong as if you were to use the traditional nail polish. And then I have really curved nails, and so it can actually be sometimes hard to put nail polish or strips on, but with Colorstreet they're so flexible it actually works really well. For me, the key is to put it by the cuticle first, and I would push back your cuticles in any way possible, just because then when your nails grow out, it doesn't show as much of your natural nail because your cuticles will already be pretty far back. And the reason you want to do that is because Colorstreet does last like 10 days. I dye yarn, I knit, I do the dishes without gloves, I do chores, I use my nails to scrape sticky stuff off surfaces when my daughter gets things dirty, and I've done this all with Colorstreet nails, and they still last about 10 days without chipping from the top. Like, the only reason I might file my nails down is because they're getting too long and I don't want to scratch my son. And so that's why I push my cuticles back, is because they last the longest that way. So I needed to move my camera so you can see better. But anyhow, you push your cuticles back, and I would do that before getting the strips out. And then I push at the bottom closest to the cuticle bed, and then go up along the middle and then the sides to avoid any bubbles. The bubbles can sometimes happen with the solid colors, but once you figure out how to put them on smoothly, it's really not a problem. And then I make sure that it's really attached to the top edge before I fold towards my finger, and then use one of my nails to get the excess off. They do say, like, don't get it over your cuticle, don't get it over the side, but I have found that if I just use my thumb or pointer nail to get the excess off, I can push the edges down really carefully and get the excess off and make sure that it doesn't stay on the skin, because if it stays on the skin once it starts to grow out, there's a little bit of a gap, and that's how it can pull off beforehand. So you can see that in 5 minutes. I've only done my pinky, but or my 2 pinkies, but I start to go faster as I go. And once you've used Colorstreet for a little while, you know which size strip works for each finger. They are also vegan, so I do have some friends who are vegetarian or vegan, and they're made in the United States. So if those things are important to you, those are good things from Color Street as well. For me, it's mostly like I don't want to spend, $35, $40 to get my nails done, um, and then it doesn't last. Like it'll start to chip in 5 days or less. And I've been very skeptical of Color Street. I actually did a test with a sample, and I did Color Street on an accent nail and regular nail polish on the other nails, and Color Street did not chip at all. But I had time to take off my other nail polish and reapply it because it chipped that badly. So that kind of sold me. I mean, yes, traditional nail polish is cheaper than Color Street, but then you have to take the time to apply it more often. It chips, and you have to wait for drying time. And with Color Street, you don't. And so if you have kids, you can do like one nail at a time and instantly do the dishes or clean up a spit up issue or whatever it is. And it lasts for 10 days. So that way your nails can look nice and you can feel special, and it doesn't take that long to do. My only problem with Color Street is there's so many different colors that I like that sometimes I don't want to wait the full 10 days because I just can't wait to try another color. And I think that's a good problem to have. But you can just see, how I'm going back and forth. And now in 2 minutes I did my ring fingers. And this Gaelic greenery is really pretty. It's actually a retiring shade, so if you're watching this now, it might not be available unless it's pretty soon after I posted it. But it's a pretty dark green with a lot of glitter on it, and it's really, really pretty. It's lighter in the sunlight, of course, but it's nice and sparkly. So, yeah. And you can see sometimes I get it over the side of my nail, and I just use my other nails to get the excess off, and it works really well. I thought I had messed these up, but I hadn't, which is really nice. And you just go faster and faster when you know what you're doing. There are some good side effects of Color Street as well, which I was not aware of. One of my nervous tics or stress-induced habits is to pick at my cuticles. And for some reason with Color Street, I don't pick my cuticles. So they're in much better shape. So my fingers look good. And then my nails are stronger. They used to break more, and I haven't changed my diet or anything like that. But my nails grow out, and they're really strong. It takes a lot to break them. In fact, I don't think I've broken one since I started using Color Street. So those are two really good side effects of using these nail polish strips, and I don't think anyone really talks about that as much as they should. So, but anyhow, since I'm just showing you how to put the nails on right now, and you can see my technique, what do you do with the other 8 strips that you don't use? And in fact, I think there's even 2 or 3 strips on the that I also didn't use. So that's like 11 strips I don't use from the one pack. So how do I keep them going? Because you don't want them to dry out. And I live in Arizona, so it's very dry here. So I try to put them back in the little plastic sleeve, which can be a little tough sometimes, so you might want to break them off. You can also put a nail file inside that plastic strip to give it some space. Then you put all of the strips back in, and you can use a lighter on the edge to reseal it, or you can use a hair straightener. And then what I also do is I also put it in a Ziploc bag just to make sure, doubly sure, that no oxygen touches them. And that way, when you want to go use your strips again, they're just as pliable as before, and they're not going to, or they're going to be able to adhere. What's great about the extra strips is you can get 2 manicures out of one. So even though they're $11 to $14, it's basically like $6 a manicure, which isn't that bad, especially considering that they last 2 weeks. And I'm really hard on my nails. I know a lot of people say that on these videos, but it's just really true for me. Especially with knitting, I don't know. and doing chores. It's really easy. So you can get 2 manicures, and then you can still have even excess strips after that. So since Colorstreet has so many different colors, what you can do with like the 2 or 3 extras you have is you can use them as accent nails with their other colors, or other strips or other nail polish, which is really nice. Or you can use the biggest ones on your toes. So there's 2 on each set of strips that are kind of too wide for my thumbs. And so I take the biggest one and I actually put them on my big toe. And that works really well. In fact, I was worried that one was going to dry out because I didn't properly put it back. And it's sticking to my big toe right now. And you can take the second biggest strip and cut it into pieces to also put it on your toes. Colorstreet does have pedicure nail strips, which I have not tried yet, but you can use these for your toes as well, or I've cut up just other ones to put them on my daughter's nails. She's almost 3, so it's like 2 strips. I didn't do a very good job, which was good because she ended up peeling them off. I mean, if you pick at them, yes, they will peel off. Although I still have Gaelic greenery on and it's all towards the edge, so I don't know if I could actually peel this off easily. But yeah, some people store their little bags of extra strips in the freezer as well. I'm just leaving mine at room temperature though. But you can get, easily 2 manicures out of one purchase, like just one set of strips like Gaelic greenery at the very least, and then you could use them as accents. So you can use that color, or you can see that color on your nails at least 3 different times, which is a lot of fun. But the biggest perks for me are it's vegan, made in the United States, and they last 10 days without chipping at the end. And as a teacher and a mom and a knitter, I want my nails to look good. So the fact that they help me not pick my cuticles, they make my nails stronger, and they don't chip so I can look professional at work is awesome. They also have different themes for different parts of the year, which is great. And they have a buy 3 get 1 deal so far every time I've seen it, which is also awesome. So I'm excited. I love their fall line for 2021. I can't wait to see the Halloween strips and the holiday strips come out, because even though I teach high school, I think my students will get a kick out of what nails is she sporting today. So yeah. Lastly, I'd like to say that once I'm done applying my nails, I like to do a clear coat of nail polish on top, just so that they last a little bit longer, and they have a little extra shine. It's not necessary though, I've done it without. And at the very end, I like to just file the ends down so that any excess nail polish strip is removed. I go in a downward motion. This also helps keep my thumbnail shorter because you can see on this one, it didn't quite make it, so, which is fine. So I just file it down, and I did that to all my nails. So I would try not to file your nails until after you've applied the new strips, and then they just last for a really long time. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I do, and if you're interested in purchasing, there is a link below. If you have any questions, let me know. So I hope you enjoy these as much as I do. I plan to use them for a long time.